The Kingdom's last hurrah, its final season following a quarter century of Seahawk football as we greet a new year, a new era. Of course, Mike Holmgren's very first game following a most successful tenure in Green Bay, and Bobby Ross at a crossroads now in his third season with Detroit. The playoffs in his first year, they slipped to 5-11 a year ago. Today he wants to open up that offense, air it out, and rediscover Detroit's winning way.
He really does, Paul. And the other thing he wants to do is open up the lines of communication with his players. He felt like that became a problem last year. His door was open, but players didn't take advantage of that. So that's got to change.
The noise in the dome, deafening around the National Football League, with a reputation as one of the most difficult places in which to play. The Seahawks won the toss. Amon Green and Kerry Joseph await our opening kickoff. And for Detroit, that means Jason Hanson will put the ball on the tee, and soon John Kitna will come onto the field.
This is almost an automatic touchback right here in a dome situation, Paul. Jason Hanson has an absolute cannon for a right leg. This thing will be buried maybe through the end zone.
Hanson against the roar. Green from his 5. Out across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Bryant Westbrook on the stop. John Kitna, for the first time in his career, is the opening day starter and the man perhaps with the most approved for Seattle today. Up front, Jones, Kendall, Kevin Glover, the former Lion, Habib, Todd Weiner in his first start. Ricky Watters, the perennial 1,000-yard rusher. Brown, Dawkins, Jordan, Atula Mealy, his first career start at tight end. Razzle-dazzle back to Kitna, who's sacked at the 12-yard line. Alan Aldridge on the blitz, and a curious call for the Seahawks, their first snap of the new season.
Boy, they come with a flea flicker right away, and the Detroit Lions come with the blitz. Watch Aldridge recognize late he's on a key blitz. Once he sees Waters in, he decides he's going to blitz on a delayed basis. Aldridge throws the play for a big loss.
A loss of 7. Kitna rolling, throwing, and the catch made up to 17-yard line. Reggie Brown on the receiving end. Chris Claiborne the stop. Here is Detroit defensively. Travis Kershke, his first start today. Ellison Jones inside. Robert Porcher, an outstanding rusher. Claiborne, the first-round draft choice out of Southern Cal. Boyd in the middle. Alan Aldridge with the sack a moment ago. This group solid. Fair, Carrier, Rice, Bryant Westbrook from Texas.
There was a personal foul penalty on the Detroit Lions defensively. Automatic first down for the Seattle Seahawks. The Lions self-destruct, and they bail the Seahawks out of a tough jam.
A ball marked upfield at the 33 for Kitna. First carry of the game for Ricky Watters, opening this his 9th season, and he runs into the arms of Luther Ellis.
Ricky Watters, consistently excellent. He's the only running back in the history of the National Football League to rush for 1,000 yards with 3 different franchises. So he sets the bar pretty high and seems to reach for that bar and grab it on a year-by-year basis.
He has bought into Mike Holmgren, and the vocal leader for this Seahawk team. Quickly into the flat. The ball came free after Sean Dawkins had made the catch. No whistle yet. Detroit appears to have recovered the ball and marked Carrier. And the indication is it belongs to the Lions.
And it looks like the Seattle Seahawks are not going to challenge this call whatsoever. Mike Holmgren and his staff see right away that the call should stand. Dawkins right here. Severe cushion. Fair's giving him plenty of cushion. Dawkins receives the football. Now you have to put it away. And the second hit, Carrier punches the football right out of there before Dawkins' knee hits the ground. Good call.
What a tremendous break for Detroit and Charlie Batch. Movement prior to the snap. As the noise level soared inside.
Exactly. The left side of the offensive line for the Detroit Lions. Early movement from that left side.
Charlie Batch made a very good first impression in his rookie season as a starter for the Lions. One of the great first years ever in the history of the NFL. First and 15 now. The first carry for Ron Rivers. And he gets 6, maybe 7 back. Darren Smith on the stop. Ray Roberts, the former Seattle #1 pick. Simple. Eric Beverly, his first start. Jeff Hardings, Juan Roque on the right side. Life after Barry. Ron Rivers, Schlesinger, the fullback. The duo of Morton and Moore, and David Sloan gets the nod, the tall tight end. Second down and 9. Crowell in motion. Thrown behind him. Very nearly intercepted by Fred Thomas. Defensively for Seattle. They can rush the passer. Daniels, Cortez Kennedy, Sam Adams, tough in the middle. Michael Sinclair led the league in sacks a year ago. Chad Brown, Anthony Simmons starts today in the middle, and Darren Smith, and the base secondary of Willie Williams, Bellamy, Darrell Williams, and the Pro Bowler in Sean Sprague. Third down. Batch. Down he goes. Chad Brown. The Pro Bowl linebacker brings the crowd to its feet.
Take a look at Chad Brown right here. He's not in a three-point stance, 2-point, but off the edge he comes. Juan Roque. Too much speed for Juan Roque to adjust to at the right tackle position. Speed sack around the corner for Chad Brown.
Jason Hanson's longest field goal last year was of 51 yards, right at this distance.
Oh, beautiful.
From 51, he equals last season's best. Detroit on the road leads following the turnover, 3-0.
That's the one thing that Seattle did not want to do. Give the football away. Ball security is a big deal. Mike Holmgren not happy about giving the football up in their first offensive possession of the 1999 season. Not happy at all. When you look at Hanson kick the football, he's amazing too, the elevation that he gets. Immediately on the long field goal. Mike Holmgren, Hanson right here. When you watch him, a 51-yard field goal, you'd think that he'd hit the ball like a 1-iron. Low, a blockable trajectory. Not Jason Hanson. It's like a 7-iron. The ball clears the line of scrimmage quickly. Tremendous elevation. He's not only got distance, he's got height.
Great break for Detroit, and again, as Hanson limbers here, you question that first snap to Kitna. Here is the hold and the field goal that John Jett set it down.
Look at the immediate elevation. This is 51 yards. Look at the height on that 51-yard field goal. He is about a third of the goalpost higher than the goalposts themselves. That's just incredible. It used to be 50-yard field goals were very blockable situations. Take them right back in your face. Not with kickers like Jason Hanson in the NFL anymore.
The new football rule, of course. Green and Kerry Joseph to the right of your screen there. New balls used in kicking situations. Not bother Hanson. 51 yards. And set to kick off from the 30. Amon Green with speed. Cuts back to the 20. Up to the 25-yard line. Well, didn't cover much ground on that scoring drive. Held on to the ball 4 plays following the fumble recovery by Mark Carrier.
-1 yards on the drive, and penalties were a factor. The crowd noise here is a definite thing to contend with for the visiting football team. It's an educated crowd. It knows when to be quiet, knows when to get loud. It's a force to be dealt with.
John Kitna now. His second series straight ahead. We anticipate seeing Ricky Watters today. For Joey Galloway is still holding out in contract negotiations, or the lack thereof, with Seattle. And Mike Pritchard, who was the second leading receiver last season for Seattle, is injured and inactive.
Well, you look at the numbers that Galloway and Pritchard combined for last season. It's a huge loss in the passing attack. But Mike Holmgren has confidence the people that he has in camp can execute his system.
Miele in motion. Kitna unloads underneath, and Aldridge will bury Reggie Brown. Alan Aldridge, the former Denver Bronco, now playing on the outside. He had been playing in the middle, and his skills are best suited for being able to run and cover.
Well, and the rush up front, Paul, was incredible by Luther Ellis. Luther Ellis, nothing fancy, just pick you up and walk you back to the quarterback. Tremendous bull rush. This Detroit Lion defensive interior, they have 3 defensive tackles in Ellis, Jones. I'll tell you, they got a rotation that's strong.
3rd and long. Here comes the heat. Kitna, a flag down behind him. To Brown. Across the 40 to the 44. And injured, the wide receiver Charles Jordan.
Might have an illegal block on the edge by the Seattle Seahawks, though. This is coming back.
Our referee today, Dick Hantak, and this is 22nd NFL season.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Brian Habib, the right guard.
Mike Holmgren not happy at all. He can't get the offense in a rhythm whatsoever. He's trying to make calls that will allow Kitna to get his feet on the ground and get some confidence early. An injury to Jordan. It's a depleted wide receiver core as it is. Let's take a look at Kitna here. He has to vacate the pocket. Habib, there's the hold. He's got his hands around outside the framework of the body. And as Kitna vacates the pocket, he's able to vacate because Habib has got the hold executed.
Charles Jordan.
Looks like a hamstring problem the way he's grabbing the back of that leg.
Derek Mays will replace him in the Seattle offense on 3rd down. Kitna unloads from his 5-yard line to Ricky Watters. Watters covers ground out close to the 30-yard line, well shy of the 1st down. Robert Bailey on the corner runs him out of bounds.
Neither offense has been able to stay on schedule. John Kitna right here, 3rd and 1,000,000. It's a tough situation. He's going to find the open man. Goes through his progression, reads very well. The 5th step of his 5-step drop. The ball's out to Ricky Watters. Just trying to regain some field position. Lost a penalty.
Veteran kicker Jeff Fiegels to kick to Detroit's Terry Fair. Fair inside the 20 and yanked down immediately.
Bonus on the edge. Strong.
A 52-yard punt, and Bowen sprints down to make the stop, and Fiegels congratulates him.
That's the kill man. Bowens. His job is to get as wide as he can. Immediate coverage.
Starting from his 18-yard line. And again, you can hear the noise. This is back. The first carry for Greg Hill. Hill on the outside. A first down and belted forward to the 36-yard line by Philip Daniels, the newest Lion. The first time he has touched the football for Detroit. Greg Hill acquired from the Rams.
Well, he's averaged 4.3 yards per carry in his career, and he's got the acceleration. Once he gets his shoulder pad squared up to the line of scrimmage, he gets the burst. Great vision, tremendous cutback. He's a home run threat at the running back position with that quickness and acceleration.
He gained 19. The toss this way. And he'll lose yardage to the 30. That's Michael Sinclair. A loss of 6. Sinclair coming off his third consecutive Pro Bowl year.
Watch Sinclair here. A good example of why he led the league with 16.5 sacks. He's not fooled on the blocking pattern up front whatsoever. Nobody lays a hand on him, and that's dangerous because Sinclair has some recoverability speed like a linebacker, and he just flat ran the play down.
Second down. Batch throws off the hands of his fullback, Corey Schlesinger.
Every single offensive series, the offense has found itself off schedule, either due to penalty or tackle for loss. Here the Detroit Lions find themselves in third and a bunch as well. Nobody has been in a third and makeable situation offensively yet in this football game.
Bobby Ross looks on now. Third down, he needs 16. Batch is mobile, but he can't get away from Chad Brown and Sinclair. They converge at the quarterback. The loss of 5. Detroit will punt.
Chad Brown unblocked. Here he comes. Unblocked. Too much speed. Charlie Batch has got to get rid of the football. Can't hold the football that long. Chad Brown runs it down.
John Jett will be kicking to a rookie in Seattle's Charlie Rogers. And flags are thrown before the ball is snapped.
Somebody flinched inside on the punt team.
False start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Brock Olivo for Detroit move.
I think we've got some opening day jitters here. Too many penalties.
Look at that face.
Wow.
Now time.
It's now time. Mike Holmgren time is now time here in Seattle.
John Jett. Charlie Rogers touches it for the first time to the 48-yard line. Schlesinger there. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers clash with their NFC Central rivals, the Lions, or Ricky Williams and the Saints face Steve Young and the 49ers. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Here on Fox. Abe Lapham, Paul Kennedy, opening day from the Dome. A capacity crowd on hand. Detroit off an early fumble recovery and a 51-yard field goal leads despite having 9 total yards. John Kitna with all of 13. Ricky Watters cuts and cannot reach midfield. James Jones on the stop. Greg Hill's being attended to. Spatting his shoes.
Both offenses have to settle down. It's been a self-destruct mode. They've been shooting each other in the foot so many times offensively, there are no toes left.
There's nerves here. That's evident on the part of both teams.
No question.
And Kitna. Second and 9. John Witt time. Sean Dawkins. His first catch as a Seahawk, arriving here from New Orleans. A gain of 13.
We talk about the Detroit Lions having size at the wide receiver position. Sean Dawkins gives it to the Seattle Seahawks. 6'4", 218 pounds. Uses his body well. He shields fair from the football like a rebounder in basketball. Gets inside position and boxes out.
Dawkins, Mays, the injured Charles Jordan, all in their first game with the Seahawks club. Here's Reggie Brown, who starts today. He played behind Max Strong at fullback most of last season. Just had a couple of carries last year. And now on opening day, we'll get some early work.
Todd Weiner starting at the right tackle position. His first NFL start, replaces House Ballard, who's now an assistant offensive line coach. Todd Weiner has got the biggest challenge of the day, matching up with Robert Porcher. Has to play well this afternoon.
And a flag thrown in along the line of scrimmage. And the preliminary indication is it's against Seattle.
49, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Mike Holmgren won't like the looks of this, Dave. It's Seattle's third penalty here in the first quarter.
Well, this is what caused Seattle problems last year. Too many false starts, too many jumping off sides, too many lining up off sides defensively. He made a point of trying to rectify that problem during the preseason, but preseason's one thing, regular season's another.
And another flag.
Wow.
These teams are tight. Seattle is as tight as a fist right now in Holmgren's debut.
Oh, no question. I mean, they just have to realize they've got
Illegal shift. Number 87 was never set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Well,
Mike's incredulous.
Well, Derek Mays, the wide receiver in the formation, if you get down in a three-point stance, you have to be set for a full second before the snap of the football. John Kitna wanted to go on a quick count. Mays has to realize that. Hustle out there, get in a three-point stance, or stay up in a two-point stance. John Kitna, though, the quarterback, has to look out there and be aware. I'm going to have to delay my cadence a little bit because he's not ready. Mays isn't ready. You got to get on the same page.
John Kitna is connected on his first 5 passing attempts. Mealy, the tight end in motion. On the line. Derek Mays again for a first down in front of Bryant Westbrook. A gain of 20.
Let's take a look at what happens here. Watch the tight end stay in and pass protect. He's working with Weiner. Weiner's free inside, turns it back inside. Tight end blocking Porcher. Nice route run by Mays. Get in and out of the cuts effectively. Runs Westbrook off. The ball's on time and accurate.
Derek Mays, acquired, of course, from the Green Bay Packers, where he played last year for Mike. First down now at the 20 going in. Kitna got it away. Incomplete at the 22, and a flag thrown in. Mark Carrier, a veteran free safety, broke it up.
Mark Carrier's been around for a decade. Route recognition was there, and he jumped the route. Let's see if he was called for early contact. It's holding on Detroit.
Holding. Defense. Number 32. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Bryant Westbrook, the cornerback, guilty of the infraction.
Boy, how can he hold? He's got that big apparatus on that left hand, but nice job by Carrier. Absolutely read the route, jumped it, almost intercepted it, and took it the wrong way. Look at Westbrook. Westbrook's got this big contraption down there on that broken finger. Hard to hold.
They load up the backfield. Here comes Waters for a short gain. Ricky Waters to the 18-yard line. He dropped about 15 pounds, did Ricky Waters, and then began to build himself back up. Concerned about the number of hits he would take in the course of a season. He's added about 8 pounds now of muscle, about 2 1/4 entering this season.
And the thing is, the longer you're in the league, the more you should either trim yourself down or make sure your body fat percentage is in favor of a long career, and that's what he's doing.
Mealy is the tight end off the line of scrimmage. And on the drop, Waters wiggles his way down to the 15-yard line. He picked up 4.
On this particular draw to Ricky Waters, Kitna When he drops back, he gets behind Waters before he hands the ball off. A wraparound handoff. Why? Linebackers key the quarterback. When the quarterback gets behind the running back, normally he's going to throw the football in the backs in blitz pickup. But no, he's not in blitz pickup, and Aldridge get faked out. Aldridge thought, oh, Ricky Waters is going to block me. I'm going to rush the quarterback. Wraparound handoff up to Gutt.
7th play of this possession. Kitna underneath. Incomplete. He was looking for Reggie Brown.
Nice hit by Boyd. Great recognition, closed on the football, and delivered a pop. And Boyd's not bashful about delivering hits.
So Seattle will try and settle for a field goal. Here is Todd Peterson.
Push left, right.
This will be a 33-yard attempt for Peterson. Make that a 32-yard attempt out of the hold of Fagel.
Oh, missed it.
It has not been a good start for Seattle, has it? For Mike Holmgren here in the first quarter. They missed the field goal from 32.
There's 3 components: snap, hold, and kick. Ball almost splits Fiegel's hands, but he does get the ball down. The lace is pointed in the right direction. Just absolutely pulled it, and he knew. Peterson knew when he hit it. You could see the look of discouragement on his face.
Nice hair, a part of this capacity crowd. In the Kingdom, Charlie Batch. An empty backfield behind it on first down. Patch throw upfield. Crowell for a first down. You're 4 days away from the 1-hour event that'll change network television forever. Jay Moore stars in the best series of the season. Action for mature audiences at 9/8 Central after an all-new shocking crashes and chases here on Fox.
Got an injured player at the 37-yard line. Herman Moore trying to throw a block down the field for his teammate Jermaine Crowell. And Herman Moore is being looked at now by the medical staff of the Detroit Lions, and I'm sure Bobby Ross and the entire coaching staff holding their collective breath, working on that left leg.
The greatest receiver in the history of Lions football.
Across the board, you name a record, he holds it. Anything you can think of. Catches, yards, touchdowns, 100-yard games. You name it, he's got it.
And this building suddenly silent as Herman Moore, it appears to be his left leg. Without Sanders, this man assumes the mantle of the on-field and off-field leader for Detroit.
And another guy that beefed up a little bit, Paul, due to his new role in the slot. Crowell catches the ball in the flat, wide open. Herman Moore will appear right here, throwing the block down the field. Right here, he's trying to peel back and throw the block for Crowell. As he gets involved inside with activity, he gets his leg caught in an uncompromising position. His own teammate hyperextends his left knee. Semple, the left guard, as he's trying to make a block down the field, hyperextends Herman Moore's left knee. His foot is planted as Semple rolls into his lower leg, and it goes the wrong way.
Among active players in the National Football League, only Jerry Rice has more career receptions than Herman Moore. Right now, he's appeared in the last 5 Pro Bowls. And with 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the very first quarter of a brand new season, isn't this class here too? Derek Mays comes over to try and assist.
And Herman Moore, very, very disappointed. Able to get up and walk a little bit, but more than a hitch in the get along. And when you're a wide receiver, you're a thoroughbred. You have to be 100% to be able to run the routes, get in and out of cuts effectively. Herman Moore right now does not look good for his prospect of returning to this football game the way he's unable to bend that left knee as he negotiates his way to the sideline. Very stiff-legged. Hyperextensions are not good. There's all kinds of potential damage that you could do, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to speculate, but right now he's not able to bend it.
We have seen 2 wide receivers injured early here in the Dome. Charles Jordan for Seattle, assisted off, and now Herman Moore, and here again is how it happened following the catch by Jermaine Crowell.
Here comes Herman Moore, and here's Semple's hit right on the lower leg, and it buckles his left knee backwards. He hyperextends his left kneecap. Just his teammate down the football field hustling. I mean, it reminds me, obviously, and thankfully, not as devastating as the hit in San Francisco. Bryant Young was hit by his own teammate, Ken Norton, making a play defensively and shattered his leg. Fortunately, nothing that severe, but those kind of things happen in football.
Brian Stabline in the slot to take Moore's play. Following the completion of 10, and now Corey Schlesinger pounds the middle. Powerful fullback out of Nebraska. Last season, he rushed the ball only 5 times all year and is expected to play extensively now in somewhat of a new wrinkle for Detroit.
He's a throwback. He's a guy that just absolutely seeks contact, loves to hit you. Knocked Jesse Tuggle out cold last year when they played the Falcons.
Nearing the end of the first quarter. Oh, nearly intercepted. Almost picked off by Willie Williams on the corner. Johnny Morton was the intended target in the flat.
And Charlie Batch never did see Willie Williams. His eyes were honed in on Johnny Morton, but never did see Willie Williams. Protection's okay. It's a quick set, quick delivery of the football. He never looked inside. Williams came off his receiver Stabline and played the ball to the edge. All he saw was Sean Springs out there. Never did see Willie Williams.
Trying to convert for the first time today on 3rd down. Play action Batch. Wide open Crowell. Morton in front of him. Crowell to the 22-yard line. A gain of 38, the biggest play for Crowell and the Lions today.
Well, Crowell, the thing that they like about him, also about 6'3", as he comes in motion right here, 6'3", 218 pounds, and then reverses twice. Comes in motion, reverses back, and they lose track of him. A defensive brain cramp in coverage and yards after catch for Crowell.
Hill takes the toss and slips at the 22. Greg Hill. Philip Daniels was there defensively. A loss of a couple for Greg Hill.
Well, right now, with Herman Moore out of the picture, the featured guy becomes Crowell. He has got the Herman Moore type physique at 6'3", but more speed. They're going to try to get Crowell in man-to-man coverages.
Stabline in motion. The draw for Hill. Darts his way after the initial hole was closed off the right side back to the left. Acquired, of course, to give Detroit some help as they look to replace the offense provided by Barry Sanders. Greg Hill with a burst can hit it up quickly inside.
No question. And the thing about Hill, he's not trying to replace Barry Sanders. He's just the next running back for the Detroit Lions. Herman Moore doesn't look good. Looks like he's going to go in the locker room early.
Herman Moore being attended to. His Lions lead on a 51-yard field goal by Jason Hansen as the first quarter comes to a close. Well, for Bobby Ross, you will take the results of this outside the injury. For Mike Holmgren, looking to get his offense on track. A missed field goal would have tied this game in the first period.
Well, like we said about Mike Holmgren, He thought that his team would do well. He wasn't sure. Herman Moore, to lose a guy of his caliber when your offensive philosophy changes. No Barry Sanders. So now you say, we've got a talented threesome at the wide receiver position, and we're going to spread the field and challenge defenses through the air. And you lose a key component in the first quarter of the football game. Somebody else is going to have to step up now. And I wouldn't be surprised to see David Sloan, the tight end, become more of a weapon.
For those of you who have been watching the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins, welcome west. We are in Seattle. Mike Holmgren's debut. Detroit, as we move toward the second quarter, leads on a 51-yard field goal by Jason Hansen. Dave Lapham, I'm Paul Kennedy. Most unsettling news, Herman Moore, without a reception today, injured, going down, hit by his own teammate and Tony Simple, and having to be carted to the Lions dressing room.
And it was a hyperextension. Paul Semple hit him on the front of his leg, the lower leg, and bent the kneecap, buckled his leg backwards, and hyperextended the knee in the wrong direction.
So here is Batch. Now third down again. The ball at the 16. Rivers, the running back. Batch for the end zone. Touchdown. Jermaine Crowell. Yeah! 9-0. Detroit.
Jermaine Crowell becomes the go-to guy. Herman Moore in that situation. How many times have you seen a fade to Herman Moore? No Herman Moore, go to Jermaine Crowell. He's got that height. Here he is in the inside slot receiver. All he does is run a little bit of a flag pattern to the corner of the end zone. Beats Bellamy. He gets the safety in a one-on-one matchup by formation and beats him.
Size and speed from Crowell. Batch with his first touchdown pass of a new season. Hansen, the extra point. A surprise at the outset of the second quarter. Crowell and the Lions 10-0 in Holmgren's debut in the Dome. A magnificent day outside here in the great Northwest. A needle outside and indoors. A stunning turn of events early. Detroit, decided underdog in this game, leading 10-0. Armand Green, along with Kerry Joseph, to field Hansen's kickoff. Green, a yard deep. And cracked at the 12-yard line. Belted down. Outstanding special teams play. The hit there by Scott Kowalkowski. 10-0 Lions. The skyline of Seattle, opening day on a new season. 10-0 Detroit. Seattle at its own 13-yard line. Kevin Glenner, the center, comes over the football. Ketna looks and unloads to Waters. Stopped by Boyd, shy of the 20. Let's go down to the field. The third member of our telecast team. Here's Jennifer Hammond.
All right, guys. Well, the news is not good for Bobby Ross and the Lions this afternoon. It appears that Herman Moore will not return to the game. He is out with a sprained left knee. Detroit will have to make do without him. Back upstairs.
It's rather devastating news. Morton, Crowell, Stabline will be the receivers from here on in. Second down. The toss, Waters. Tough yards. Again on that corner, Ron Rice was there to take on Ricky Waters. Rice in his 5th year out of Eastern Michigan. Last season was Detroit's second leading tackler from the secondary.
And also the Seattle Seahawks offense operating without Charles Jordan, their fastest wideout. He's been taken off the field with an ice bag on his left leg. It looks like a potential hamstring injury. So got problems at the receiver position for both football teams.
Waters and Brown for Kitna. The blitz is on. Kitna is dropped at the 13-yard line. Ryan Stewart from the secondary, the second sack. And the Lions are mauling Seattle in the first half.
Yeah, not a quick enough recognition of the blitz. Take a look at him right here. He's at the line of scrimmage. It's not any kind of big question. Bad job in blitz pickup right there by the fullback Reggie Brown.
Fagles to punt. Terry Fair awaits it. 40-yard line, calls for the fair catch, and able to make it following a 46-yard punt. A pause in the action in the second quarter. Detroit leading Holmgren by a touchdown and a field goal. Bright blue skies in Seattle today, opening day. The NFL on Fox. Detroit from its 40. Patch to throw. Down the middle. Broken up, incomplete. Martin, the intended target over the middle. Willie Williams is there, looking for Johnny Morton.
One thing that Detroit did by formation to start this drive, they went with one back in the backfield in Schlesinger. They had two receivers and two tight ends. I think we're going to see both teams go to multiple tight end formations, both to run the football and even in the passing attack. They've got tight ends that they can use as receivers to stretch the field.
Schlesinger stood up and driven back by Cortez Kennedy. All right, JB. Needless to say, a huge win for the Cowboys in Washington. Second down here. Chad Brown looks to blitz against Batch. Batch unloads it. A one-handed grab at the 48-yard line by Morton. Acrobatic. There are penalty markers, though, in the Detroit backfield, but what a catch.
You got two flags. You got two flags. You got holding on Detroit maybe in two different areas. There might be a multiple holding call on the Detroit Lions. One on the left tackle, one on the right tackle or tight end.
Might have erased the catch of the day in the National Football League. Look at this.
Excellent concentration. Get up there with one hand, secure the football, and get both feet down. Tap, tap.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Third down.
Ray Roberts is guilty of holding the former #1 pick here at Seattle. An excellent effort by Morton. Just a tremendous play on the football. All for naught due to the penalty. Self-destruction continues to reign supreme here for both football teams.
They're struggling. Both teams are offensively. But Charlie Batch has thrown a touchdown pass to Jermaine Crowell. Sets up the screen. Ron Rivers close to the 40-yard line. Chad Brown a long way to make that stop.
Well, what we had was Seattle with the three-man front and dropped 8 into coverage. Soft coverage. So a good call, draws or screens. Offensive line, 1,001, 1,002 release. Get out in front of the running back and find somebody to block. Two Detroit Lions were consumed by one Seattle defender. Not good enough execution.
Charlie Rogers to field this kick by Jack. Very high. Rogers at his 9. Is immediately wrapped up. He loses the ball. Detroit has recovered.
Paul, you've got a rookie making a bad decision.
Brock Olivo falls on the ball, and you're right, this is for Rodgers his very first NFL game.
Well, what you do is, as a return man, once you get to the 10-yard line, your heel's on the 10-yard line. It should be an invisible fence. Get a slight correction. Don't move any further back to catch the football.
Ball is muffed by the receiver, recovered by the kicking team. First down.
It's a muff, so it's not advanceable, but Detroit has a first and goal at the 5-yard line. But the decision that Rodgers made was a poor one. Pete Rodriguez on the sideline trying to discuss it with him. Once you get your feet inside the 10-yard line, let the ball go. Take your chances. And he tries to field it at the 7.
Lamar Campbell stripped it free. Olivo was there. First and goal, Lions. Very little behind Ray Roberts. The tackle, Tony Simple, the guard on the left side. Cortez Kennedy at 310 pounds inside fills it up. He and Adams looking to stuff the middle.
What has to happen in the red zone, if Detroit can punch this into the end zone, a tremendous advantage. Seattle's defense has to bull their necks and limit this to nothing but a field goal opportunity, or they're in real trouble at home.
Hill again the back. Batch, his second touchdown pass of the game.
David Sloan, the big tight end, working the back line of the end zone. Excellent throw by Batch.
Charlie Batch has struck twice. David Sloan, his first reception of this game, goes for 6.
David Sloan is now healthy. Check him out at the right side at the tight end position, runs his pattern across the back of the end zone. Chad Brown in coverage, can't find the football. Playing Sloan but not the ball.
Jason Hansen to make it 17-0. And it hit the upright.
Wow.
He can't believe it. But for Seattle fans, big David Sloan has them up 16-0. Charlie Rogers, a rookie's nightmare, a muff punt, sets up a touchdown for Detroit on opening day.
And it was a poor decision to even attempt to field the football. When you're inside the 10-yard line, let it go. Charlie Rogers lost track of where he was on the football field. Rookie mistake.
Hansen, who missed the extra point, kicking here. Amon Green. Again, great special teams coverage down at the 16-yard line. Ryan Stewart, another special team stop. Jim Zorn back in the dome with Batch. SAP. By any language, this has been a surprise, and Ricky Waters is surrounded by Lions. Trailing, as you see, 16-0. A new Lion, James Jones, the nose tackle. His first game with Detroit, arriving from the Baltimore Ravens. He's on the stop this season.
Seattle has not come off the football this afternoon well whatsoever. And that time, Porsche was matched up against Mealy and got penetration. Blew up the tight end, knocked him backwards, made Ricky Waters make his first cut 4 yards in the backfield. Mike Holmgren doesn't like that.
Jones digs in, no gain on the play. Second down for Kitna. Over the middle, incomplete. A diving effort by Derek Mays upfield at the 32-yard line, and quickly it is third down.
Well, John Kitna trying to get his feet on the ground, and now he finds himself smiling. You know, he's not doesn't look overly upset, but down by 16 points. What do you do game plan wise? Do you panic and fire and fall back? I don't think so. Too early in the football game. I think Mike Holmgren will stay within the framework of his offense, but they have to start executing. Too many penalties, too many drop balls, too many inaccurately thrown footballs. They have to get in some kind of rhythm.
Third and long. Pressure. Kitna sacked again. At the 11-yard line, Luther Ellis. The third sack by the Lions in this first half.
Watch Porsche off the edge. He gets up the football field. Todd Weiner is out of the game. Bull rush makes Kitna step up. Porsche cleans it up. It's a perfect execution of a defensive end and defensive tackle. Make the quarterback step up, and the D tackle finalizes. Whoa. Safety.
And the snap from center. It begins to become embarrassing here in the first half. Is right through the end zone. A safety.
And now Seattle has to kick, free kick from their own 20-yard line. Detroit is looking at excellent field position potentially. Mike Holmgren can't believe his eyes. Down 18 points. He's about ready. You can see the blood starting to boil. is not the least bit happy. Talking to Pete Rodriguez. After Murphy's Law is in full effect, what can go wrong will go wrong. Boy, Deems May just fired that thing to Shaquille O'Neal.
Deems May there has just taken an earful from Mike Holmgren.
And it's a veteran football player. He's done it a million times. But opening day, sometimes strange things happen on opening day. And Mike Holmgren up and down the sideline barking. Embarrassment is probably accurate right now. I think he's...
Well, you say that in somewhat guarded fashion, but from a flea flicker that resulted on a sack on his very first play of the season.
Right. And Aldridge made a great play on that. He had Ricky Waters in coverage on that particular play. Ricky Waters took it up to the line of scrimmage, pitched it back. Aldridge delayed, blitzed, and got the sack. And from that point forward, Detroit not fooled by the flea flicker. It has totally gone their way and not Seattle's way.
The veteran special teams coach Pete Rodriguez is the lone holdover from Dennis Erickson's staff. And the irony here is Mike Holmgren was saying it's the first time with Pete here that he has a veteran special teams coach.
Right, highly
Nolan
regarded.
Cromwell had done it for him for years, but really Nolan was a wide receiver coach, adding that to his duties.
Yeah, and really, Pete Rodriguez can't do much about Deems May right there. That's not anything a coach can control. And a decision that the rookie makes for him, Charlie Rogers, deciding to field a punt inside his 10-yard line. And you're right, Paul, he was talking about, he said when Nolan Cromwell was special teams coach, it was his first job. It was a fire drill out there. The same for Johnny Holland. Now I've got Pete Rodriguez, well-respected veteran coach.
This is Terry Fair, who led the league in kickoff returns last year, just handling punt returns today. And a good field position out to the 37-yard line. Kerry Joseph on the special teams stop. Seeing is believing. Look at their score. 18-0. Lions.
Well, there has been some tragedy here in Seattle. Fritz Shermer, the longtime defensive coordinator and friend of Mike Holmgren, they're wearing the little patch on the helmet in Fritz Shermer's honor.
Longtime defensive coordinator.
Passed away in August.
We miss him. Blitz. Against the blitz. Intercepted. Willie Williams. From the ridiculous to the sublime. 40 yards on the interception return. This was Seattle's specialty a year ago, transforming turnovers into points by its defense.
10 defensive touchdowns last year, first one this year.
The extra point tacked on by Todd Peterson. Seattle's first score of the year comes from its strength, its defense, on the 40-yard return by Willie Williams in front of Sideline. This pressure may have forced that interception.
Well, Charlie Batch couldn't get comfortable in the pocket, that's for sure.
Brock Olivo for Detroit from his 10. Olivo out across the 30 and a flag thrown in at the end of the play.
Usually that's one of those illegal blocks in the back. We'll see.
Jay Bellamy on the special teams tackle.
Got a hold against Detroit.
And finally something positive for the fans here in the Kingdom. Willie Williams, the 40-yard interception return.
Holding Detroit during the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Bobby Ross had been in command, leading 18-0. And now his offense will look to hold on to the football with 9 minutes remaining in the first half in Seattle. The NFL on Fox from the Kingdom in Seattle. Detroit with the football. Schlesinger bounces outside for a first down. Darrell Williams runs him out of bounds. Seattle scoring moments ago on Willie Williams with the 40-yard interception. Returned Darren Smith with pressure to cause the pick.
Well, let's take a look at Darren Smith. He blitzes from the inside linebacker position, doesn't let Charlie Batch get comfortable in the pocket, hurries the throw, and as a result, Willie Williams baits it a little bit, jumps the route, takes it the other way, baits Batch in the throw in the out pattern and didn't get there with enough velocity.
A gain of 17. Batch again deep for Crowell, who has caught a touchdown pass today. Sean Springs with excellent position, the Pro Bowl corner this time against the speedy Crowell.
The one guy that I love for the Detroit Lions, though, is Corey Schlesinger. A throwback. Total football player. He's got the neck roll going. Looks like he swallowed a bowling ball. Doesn't have much, he's got about a 35-inch neck there. And he is hard. He delivers a blow. When he lowers his shoulder, he absolutely thumps you.
He checks out, replaced by Ron Rivers. On second down. The draw to Rivers. Stiff arms again. And throws a forearm into Willie Williams. And the Detroit bench erupts. He passed the shot rather than taking it that time.
There's no doubt. You want to be the hitter rather than the hittee, and Rivers is pumped up about it. And you take a look at one thing that surprised me a little bit, not the thump, not the power, but the fact that Rivers is able to negate Seattle's speed. And man, that's a rejection right there. That's not getting that shoulder pad level low enough and get blown up, detonated at the 40.
An important snap for Detroit. Sloan in motion. Batch flares. Rivers has the first down. And it's Willie Williams that stops him again. Ron Rivers said that Barry Sanders had 27. That was the size of his shoes. And his shoe size was only 11. He couldn't fill Barry's shoes, but he could contribute to Detroit's attack.
And really a guy that made a heck of a play on this particular effort down the perimeter. Take a look at Johnny Morton here. He's not the guy that catches the football. Rivers does. But watch Morton work down the football field, trying to throw blocks, get some extra yards for Rivers. Excellent effort in concert with his teammate.
Crowell and Morton atop your screen on first down. This is a coming out party for Jermaine Crowell in front of Willie Williams. He has the size of Herman Moore and is the fastest Lion in uniform offensively.
Well, Virginia has been very, very good to the Detroit Lions. Herman Moore and Crowell, both graduates of the University of Virginia. And 6'3", 218 pounds, that runs between 4.3 and 4.40. I mean, that is serious speed. And when you combine that with the size he has a mismatch waiting to happen.
A gain of 9. Schlesinger. A first down. Cortez Kennedy inside. Rides him down to this artificial surface.
I'm going to tip my cap to the Detroit Lion offensive line. They've only got 2 guys that they projected as starters working up front. It's a piecemeal offensive line. People have had to move to different positions. Roquet moved from guard back out to tackle. Beverly is at the center position, his first NFL start. They're working very, very well in concert. Nice job up front.
Batch marching Detroit. Rivers stood up at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Matt LaBounty, number 99, at the point of attack in his 7th season now out of Oregon.
And rolling in some defensive linemen to keep people fresh. LaBounty getting some snaps. They do have some talent up front through the Seattle Seahawks. LaBounty does a pretty good job of separating from the block, keeping that outside arm free and getting involved in the play.
Second down. LaBounty on the edge. This drive began at Detroit's 17. Batch away from pressure. Stumbles on the turf at the 41-yard line without being touched.
The turf monster gets an unassisted tackle right there.
Now it's third down.
Chad Brown involved in the blitz. A little bit of a stunt on the edge to the blind side of Charlie Batch. Let's take a look at the turf monster. Reach up and grab Charlie Batch's big toe. Kakum. Man, unassisted tackle for the turf. That goes in the tackle chart right there.
Third down and a dozen if you're just joining us. Herman Moore taken to the dressing room, will not return. An injured leg suffered in the first quarter. Batch again for the end zone, and Crowell who catches it. Touchdown, Detroit. Batch with his third touchdown pass of the first half. 2 have gone for the second-year man, Jermaine Crowell, this of 41 yards.
They still have not adjusted to the speed that Crowell puts on the football field. He is running by the coverage. They don't believe a guy that size can run that fast, and he continues to run right by him. Nothing fancy there, and Charlie Batch got the ball up, and Crowell got up with his 6'3" frame to make the play.
Now jumps the coverage. Remarkable first half for Crowell, matched with Sean Springs, magnified by the fact Springs is a Pro Bowl corner. Detroit in a big way. Batch to Crowell, leading in the dome. The first half.
And nothing fancy. Crowell just outruns the coverage, gets airborne, and makes a play. Who's he matched up with? Sean Springs. Pretty effective corner. Crowell in a one-on-one matchup with Springs. Crowell's the winner. It's a coming out party for Crowell as Moore is injured.
He caught 3 touchdown passes all of last season, has 2 in the first half today. Green, cracked shy of the 20-yard line and driven back. Corey Schlesinger buried it. Man who has to be the proudest on the Detroit staff, Jim Zorn. The original Seahawk quarterback, and now the quarterback coach for the Detroit Lions, honored in the Ring of Honor here, his number 10 in the expansion year of '76 until 1984, worn by Jim, and as coincidence would have it, Charlie Batch wears that number now for Detroit.
And amazingly, Jim Zorn, before the mobile quarterback was such a big deal, got a holding penalty on Seattle. It's going to cost him yardage.
Penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So they've started, in my count, at least 3 drives inside their own 20-yard line. That they're losing the hidden yards of field position battle as well. But Zorn had the jackhammer feet. He could beat you with his throwing arm and his feet before it became vogue, the in thing to do. Now in the NFL, when plays break down, they want quarterbacks that can make something happen. Zorn could have lived in this era easily.
A shaken Seattle starts inside its 10. Kitna to throw. Pressure on. Caught upfield by Sean Dawkins. Upfield of the 28. Back to Zorn for a moment. Quarterback coach, of course, for Detroit, and the original quarterback. Check out the hair for the expansion Seahawks in '76. More than 20,000 yards through the years, including 3,000 yards in 3 consecutive seasons. He still holds many Seahawk passing records and has to be one of the most popular players ever in the great Northwest.
Well, every highlight we see, he's out of pocket. He's on the run throwing the football. That was Jim Zorn, a 2-way go.
And on the play of 19 for Kitna, setting up the screen. This time Ricky Waters makes the first man miss and works his way out to the 33-yard line. A rather quiet first half for Ricky Waters. He's rushed for a dozen yards. In terms of receiving, has but 3 catches. So he has been contained in the first half.
Well, the problem that Seattle faces, without Galloway, they don't have the home run threat. And Mike Holmgren, acutely aware of doesn't have the home run threat, going to have to make plays, sustain drives. They find themselves down by 18.
Waters hurdling. Really never got out of his backfield. Stephen Boyd, number 57, with penetration to break the play down. The linebacker.
Well, let's take a look at what John Kitna does up front. He's coached at the line of scrimmage, Paul, to drop that left foot back, to get that left foot out of the way. Number one, it separates him from the line of scrimmage sooner. Number two, pulling guards have less of a potential of stepping on his foot and planting that left foot into the turf and knocking him down. See the stagger, the left foot back. That's a coaching point.
Third down. Kitna over the middle, tough catch. Derek Mays at the 43 in front of Mark Carey. And a penalty flag is on the field as well for Dick Hantak. And it is against Seattle.
Yeah, it's going to be against the big #1 draft pick, Jones, left tackle. Usually the gentleman that throws that flag is watching the left tackle.
Offense number 71 was on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Third down.
He wasn't covered, as they say in football parlance, by a wide receiver.
And that's not his fault. That's not Big Walter's fault. He's at the line of scrimmage like he should be. The wide receiver was off the line of scrimmage and not up tight enough to the line of scrimmage to make him covered. So you can't have number 71 line up at the end of a formation because he's wearing an ineligible number.
Not good. We near the 2-minute warning. Attila Mealy. Move. Kitna steps up. Porcher chasing. Gets to it. Robert Porcher drops it at the 28-yard line as another flag goes down.
Are they going to call motion again? 2 men in motion at the same time? My goodness.
So Mealy moving.
Yeah.
Right, illegal shift.
2 in motion at the same time, I think.
And
Mike Holmgren's doing a slow burn right now.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 men moving at the same time prior to the snap. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
60,000 stunned, one of whom is Mike Holmgren at home in the Kingdom, trailing 25-7. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will bring you scores and highlights from around the league. Fiegels to punt. Very nearly blocked. He went down, and a flag will be thrown on the play. Is it running into the kicker?
Yeah, it'll be Richard Jordan.
The kicker. Richard Jordan took him down.
Yeah, it'll be running into. He wasn't blocked into the kicker. I thought Richard Jordan, though, was underneath the kicker to the point where the kicker could have avoided him, but Dick Hantak says running into the kicker. So that's not an automatic first down. It's only a 5-yard penalty.
Running into the kicker. Defense number 99. Penalty is declined. First down, Detroit.
They get a nice roll off the punt. Jordan comes in underneath Fiegels. It does run into his left foot as he does plant to the turf. The punter's totally vulnerable at that point in time, so they have to protect the punter. Jordan's saying, "No way, Dick. Take it easy, Mr. Hantak. No way. Can't happen." But he get called. When the punter is airborne, you have to protect his legs. He's in a bad position. Can't sustain any contact.
A minute and 41 seconds away from halftime. A halftime in which Mike Holmgren and Seattle will be regrouping. And Detroit could not have imagined in its wildest dreams it would be up like this at halftime. Batch to Schlesinger to grind it out. Okay. Anthony Simmons in the middle. Stops the fullback in Schlesinger.
You talk about a total evolution offensively. You go from Barry Sanders in the one-back set to Schlesinger. I mean, that's like going from, man, a ballet dancer to a construction worker in the backfield in terms of footwork and make you miss. Schlesinger wants to pound you. Barry Sanders wanted to make you miss.
It's almost double his rushing total from last year. All this without Barry Sanders. And Schlesinger driving the ball into Anthony Simmons. What did Barry Sanders mean offensively to this team last season in terms of the percentage of the attack? And this is under Bobby Ross over the last 2 years. Look at that. 37, close to 40% of the offense.
Right, and that's phenomenal. I mean, Barry Sanders was a home run threat every time he touched the football. The problem that Bobby Ross felt that he had was too many second and longs, too many off schedules, because Barry Sanders was caught behind the line of scrimmage 97 times, led the National Football League.
Schlesinger. A first down. And belted at the 39-yard line. Jay Belthamy. Willie Williams saved it. This is Detroit with a great deal of pride in silver and blue. And an injury.
Is that Chad Brown down there?
It looks to be Chad Brown, the Pro Bowl linebacker.
They could not afford to sustain that injury, to say the least. Corey Schlesinger looking like Edwin Moses running the low hurdles there. He got up and over.
A charge timeout to Mike Holmgren. You know what? And this just adds to it is Chad Brown is shaken up, but with Joey Galloway not here and Mike Pritchard injured and Charles Jordan injured as well, he has but Sean Dawkins and Derek Mays as his deep big play threat. So offensively, it'll be really a challenge to try and get back in this game.
Let's take a look at Schlesinger here, though. He's the tailback in a two-back set. He's used to being the lead blocker. Chad Brown, the injury here. Chad Brown is working off the block. He's in a double team, and basically when he plants his foot, just kind of buckles under him. Because he not only has his own body weight, he has the body weight that he's pressing of the big offensive lineman. And he gets taken to the turf. So not really anything in terms of contact on the leg. It's just his own body weight and the body weight of a massive man pressing against him as he planted his leg on the turf and it gave on him.
Still being attended to, and what has been a physical first half for both teams.
They're looking at the upper body, looking like it's more of a head problem than down at the legs. I mean,
well, we'll wait and see.
They're not. Look at what they're doing with the helmet. Scary.
Very
his lower body
discomforting.
fine.
Well, that is good to see. A very
Yes,
discomforting picture. Chad Brown, voted Seattle's most valuable player by his teammates last year. Here's what happens on this play late in the first half.
Chad Brown on the outside, a little cross block between the tight end and tackle, Ray Roberts, a big man. As he's taken to the turf, he gets his head caught up with the inside-out pursuit. And it looked like he jammed his head and neck. Watch as Chad Brown tries to play off. Here's Chad Brown. Watch as he tries to play off inside. He gets hit from the inside-out pursuit, and they've got a stretcher out there to take Chad Brown off the football field. So it looks like he sustained some kind of injury to his neck, possibly. Watch him once again.
And the medical staff, understandably, will take all the time they need and be very, very careful.
Chad Brown on the edge here, separating from the block, tries to turn back inside, and he's hit by the inside-out pursuit of his own teammate and kind of jars that neck awkwardly. They've got the piano board out there, which you always hate to see, and they're very, very careful. They try to take every precaution they can possibly take. They're gonna err on the side of caution in these instances.
A very unsettling end to our first half of play, which obviously puts the score into more of a proper perspective. In fact, it is simply a football game dominated these first two quarters by the Detroit Lions.
It seems like the Detroit Lions have seen this all too often. I mean, the people, football today, players are so big and so fast, and the collisions are so violent. But you think of Detroit, Mike Utley, Reggie Brown, this preseason, a Cincinnati Bengal involved in a hit up in Detroit that caused serious concern and problems. They've seen way too many of these type of instances, and this is the worst injury a football player can ever dream about. There's not an injury that is even a close second, and hopefully there's nothing real severely wrong with Chad Brown, and this is just precaution that's being taken, and our prayers are obviously in that direction. But they're just immobilizing him. We saw him moving his lower body, but it looked like they were trying to see what kind of sensation he had in his arms and hands, and just immobilizing him to make sure that you don't want to move him prematurely if there was any damage that took place in his neck area.
Michael Sinclair, the concern evident on the faces of each and every Seattle Seahawk. That's Anthony Simmons on the right side, along with Darren Smith, Brock Olivo Looking on, they have removed the face mask
And they'll
from
tape
the helmet.
They'll tape the helmet down. They'll strap it down, tape it down to the board as the final immobilization process here. Just absolutely hate to see this.
And the ambulance being brought on. The end of the first half. 25-7. Detroit leading as we near halftime here in the Kingdome on opening day.
You know, there's really not much you can do, unfortunately, to prevent these type of injuries to the head and neck, because, as I said before, the players, you have 300-pound guys that can move like these players move. The violence and the impact is incredible, and you can't play in a suit of armor. You have to be able to move out there. Every football player knows when they take the football field that you're taking chances.
You can see that apparently Chad is able to move.
You can see him breathing, which is good. Looks like he's breathing normally and freely, which is a good sign as well.
All this with 7 seconds remaining in the first half. What has been a struggle from the outset today in terms of football for Seattle, and now it is magnified by what has happened here to Chad Brown.
Hopefully all you're talking about here is a trauma, you know, and Chad Brown is going to be 100% fine, and he gets a hand from the crowd as he's put on the stretcher and will be taken away on the ambulance.
Earlier too, we saw Herman Moore early injuring his leg, having to be carted to the Detroit dressing room. And now Chad Brown into the ambulance.
It's a sobering deal right there. As I said before, there's not an injury that's a close second in terms of fear and impact that neck and head injuries have to football players.
One final play in the first half. 2 quarters of football complete. In Seattle, the Lions stalking what would be considered an upset and looking to spoil the debut of Mike Holmgren here into the first half. Your score 25-7 Detroit. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. On the field, precautionary x-rays taking place right now. He was able, though, and this is good news, to move both his hands and his feet. We will have a later update for you shortly.
Well, that whole thing, it puts football in perspective. Secondary to everything else, hopefully Chad Brown is fine.
Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. It has been all Detroit, and Charlie Batch throwing 3 first half touchdown passes.
Well, you look at the total yards, the Seattle Seahawks, who would have thunk 73 yards total offense and a half out of the West Coast offense. 2 turnovers were costly, although the Lions turnover resulted in the Seahawks touchdown. Let's take a look at a guy who's having the coming out party, Jermaine Crowell. Crowell here just runs a little bit of a flag pattern, gets isolated on a safety, Bellamy, and beats him to the corner of the end zone. Now he gets matched up on cornerback Sean Springs. Pretty good cover guy. Beats him down the football field, out jumps him for the football. Big play.
The second half begins. Brock Olivo pops up to the 25-yard line. And there is Jermaine Crowell with 2 first half touchdown receptions, assuming the role of a Herman Moore.
With more speed. He can really run. Another injury.
And another injured Seahawk, in this case Fred Thomas, being attended to following special teams coverage. We have seen players go down on both sides of the field, unfortunately, here on this artificial surface in the first half. And here again is perhaps what happened to him.
Playing off a block, he gets kind of submarined by a teammate. And boy, once your foot is planted and you take a hit like that, injury is sure to follow.
This has not been the opening day festival that Seattle had in mind to celebrate Mike Holmgren's arrival from Green Bay.
No question about it. I mean, Murphy's Law took effect early. First play of the game backfired. You can question that. And then self-destruction, penalties, turnovers, un-Mike Holmgren-like.
Charlie Batch at quarterback. Ron Rivers, a solid gain on first down. Down to the field where Jennifer Hammond talked to Detroit's Bobby Ross.
Coach Bobby Ross, obviously, not only defensively but offensively, your team stepped up huge in the first half.
We're playing well right now, Jennifer, but it's a 60-minute game, and then we got to play the full 60 minutes. And very, very important second half. We got to keep our focus. We've got the ball. We'd like to do something with it. Start second half.
All right, thanks, Bobby, and good luck. Guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, Jennifer. Old school. That is Bobby Ross. Rivers. New school for him in replacing Barry Sanders, and this ground game has been very solid today. They have across the board offensively. That is a first down carry by the 5th-year man from Fresno State, an undrafted rookie 5 years ago, signed by Bobby Ross when he was at San Diego.
And a good football player. Special teams player of the year last year for this Lion football team, back up to Barry Sanders. But now with an 18-point lead, they're playing shrink the game. They're only going to play half a game with an 18-point lead. They are going to run the football down Seattle's throat.
Jermaine Crowell. Bottom of your screen, here comes Johnny Morton. Batch still has the ball. He's able to dump it to Olivo. Brock across midfield. Check that. David Sloan across midfield. Down to the 49-yard line. James Logan and Darrell Williams, a linebacker and a defensive back, teamed on this tackle.
And I think the tight ends are going to be utilized by both teams in the second half. They've had injuries to their wide receiver core. And I think that you've got a situation where Batch executed a lot better in the first half. The one interception was a problem, returned for a touchdown by Williams, but Kitten was 9 of 11, accurate, but no big plays at all.
Rivers on the toss sweep. Turns the corner for 4. Sean Springs up to make the stop on the very compact Ron Rivers. And Spring draped all over Crowell. That might be the most definitive picture of the first half. He had Crowell very well covered, and Jermaine was able to out-jump him for the football and another touchdown.
Jump ball situation, and Crowell at 6'3" was able to get the advantage there. Ron Springs, Rivers, I should say, averaging 5 yards a carry, just like he did last year for this Detroit Lion team on a limited basis.
Corey Schlesinger cut down at the line of scrimmage. Michael Sinclair. He has been to the Pro Bowl each of the last 3 years. David?
Well, the first half certainly went well for the Lions with an 18-point lead. Now all they have to do is shrink the game. They've got one half and they're going to control the clock, try to play keep away, run the football, limit the possessions that Seattle has in their comeback attempt. Bobby Ross is going to play stop me running the football.
Third down. The shovel pass. Nowhere for Cedric Irvin. Sam Adams read it very well.
And that's a safe play because it is a pass, as you described it, Paul. If that ball is fumbled or bobbled, it's an incomplete pass. It is not a fumble. Little rollout, semi-roll to the right tackle, shovel pass inside to Irvin. Sam Adams, the big fella, makes the play.
Adams, the defensive stop, John Jett to kick. Charlie Rogers, the rookie, at the 15, this time able to hold on to the ball. You recall his muff led to one of Detroit's touchdowns in this 25-7 opening day game. The Space Needle outside the Kingdom. First possession of the third quarter for John Kitna and the Seahawks. And he throws, flags in. Brian Westbrook was draped on Sean Dawkins.
Westbrook got his hands in there, Paul, a little early.
Dick Hentak. The call?
Interference. Defense number 32. First down.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, two of baseball's top teams clash. Bernie Williams and the Yankees face the AL Central champs, the Tribe, in a possible ALCS preview. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific. Check local listings for the game time in your area right here on Fox. Opening day in the National Football League. Kitna stumbling. Down he goes again. The fourth sack. Robert Porcher this time. Let's go to our Fox Network Center in Hollywood. Here's JB.
Paul and Dave, Jacksonville creating and taking advantage of opportunities. R.W. McCord is on the kickoff return. Knocked loose by Alvis Whitted. Picked up by Jason Kraft. 23 yards to pay dirt. The two-point conversion is good. And it's Jacksonville over the 49ers by 14 in the third. Back to Paul and Dave.
All right, James. Here, a surprising score, 25-7. Seattle struggling at home, and it continues nowhere for Ricky Waters. Richard Jordan, the linebacker, stuffs him in the hole.
Well, Seattle is in a tough situation to play come from behind offensively. Joey Galloway not in camp. Pritchard not available due to injury. Home run threat not there. And Detroit's making them negotiate a long field. In Seattle, a little bit concerned about what's going on here, and particularly the big man, Mike Holmgren.
3rd and 11. Kitna avoids the sack. Will not earn the first down, though, although he comes across the 30 to the 34. Robert Bailey from the secondary in coverage there. And John Kitna once again heads off the field. The punter, Jeff Fiegels, is on. Seattle still without any points offensively today.
And without 100 yards offense into the third quarter. Who would have thought that out of this West Coast offense? This system works so well, but you get in 3rd and longs and down 18, you're in trouble.
Terry Fair inside his 25. Jeff Fiegels. The punt. His best effort, his first of 53 yards. Fair says get away from it. And it bounds out of bounds to be marked upfield at the 26-yard line. We're in the third quarter in the Kingdom. Detroit leading Seattle. James Logan now, the 5th-year man out of Memphis, will take the spot of Chad Brown on the field. Brown injured. The end of the first half. And Darren Smith, Anthony Simmons, that linebacker trio. On first down. Solid tackle by Anthony Simmons inside on Greg Hill.
You know, one thing that this injury to Chad Brown, Logan, who's on all the special teams, has to step up and take snaps at the line of scrimmage. So there's a trickle-down effect. Somebody has to step up for Logan on special teams. It dilutes and waters down your roster for this particular game. The injuries have a ripple effect.
Batch with time to throw. A tough catch by David Sloan, the tight end, will earn the first down at the 41-yard line. They pick up a dozen.
David Sloan is now healthy. A couple of years ago, he could run freely and easily. Now that he's healthy once again, took him a couple of years to come back from a knee injury. He runs the same routes the wideouts run, the same depth, the same yardage, and he's got tremendous hands, and he's a big target. He's a threat out there.
Sloan's third reception of this game. He has caught a touchdown pass today. Schlesinger looked to cut back, and he can't get away from Adams. Sam Adams, the quickest burst off the line of scrimmage perhaps in the National Football League.
He has got a tremendous first step. He's got get off. Watch Sam Adams right here. Watch him explode off the line of scrimmage and separate. Double team block, a little chip on him, separates from Hardings, and he makes the play. Good hands, hand placement, and quickness of hand placement were key on that play.
He and Cortez Kennedy inside. It's better than 600 pounds of manpower.
You're not going to move him around, Paul.
2nd and 9. The draw. Rivers. Able to slip Darrell Williams for a moment. Out across the 45 to the 47.
Now you can see Seattle, their mindset, they're a little bit down. I mean, you can see their chins on their chests a little bit. Detroit has got the momentum. Detroit has got the lead. Seattle, I think, is still stunned. I'm sure Mike Holmgren peeled paint in the locker room at halftime. I'm sure he gave them a speech that they'll never forget at the half.
3rd down. Look out. Philip Daniels off the edge with a sack of Batch.
Yeah, Batch had to play London Bridges falling down there and duck underneath him. And Daniels pressures him. Daniels off the edge here, pressures him. Watch Batch sees him, ducks, gets underneath. I'll tell you, unfortunately, I'm not sure Daniels is going to get the sack. He had to step up, and it'll be a team sack. Sam Adams will get it.
The 4th of the day. Jet cuts to the rookie and Rogers, and the ball bounces into the end zone. 6:11 to go here in the 3rd. Detroit still in a commanding position over the homestanding Seahawks. The Kingdom in Seattle. On your left, Safeco Field, a home of Junior Griffey, at least for the next couple of seasons. On your right, and inside, Seattle Seahawks reeling. They have struggled from the outset today in Mike Holmgren's debut. John Kitna now midway through the 3rd quarter. Rolls and on the move, connects. Reggie Brown to the 22. Mike Holmgren has been to the Super Bowl twice, of course, in his recent tenure with the Green Bay Packers. To put that into perspective, the last time that Seattle went to the playoffs, well, that was 1988. Then and now, well, back in 98, Mark McGuire had 84 home runs, and Sammy and Junior, none. Still looking for the first one. It's been a long time since the Seahawks have marched to postseason.
Boy, it sure has. Home runs, a big story in sports today, and those guys had none back then.
Kitna slings it incomplete. Almost sidearm for Sean Dawkins, and Terry Fair was there. And of course, they won the West 12 years ago, 1988. Chuck Knox, the head coach. Today, Mike's offense has been strapped without Joey Galloway, without the injured Mike Pritchard, and he loses Charles Jordan, the wide receiver, again to a leg injury.
Well, they're taking away anything intermediate and deep, Paul, and they're making them throw it all underneath, all sideways, nothing down the field.
Possession snap now. Kitna throws, tough catch made. Derek Mays, a first down. How about an update on the Giants and the Buccaneers? Let's go back to our Fox Network center and James Brown for this NFL update.
Well, Giants defense, take a look at it. Trent Dilfer throws a pick right to Andre Weathers, a rookie out of Michigan. He returns it for the score. New York's defense has scored both touchdowns. They lead it by 4 over Tampa Bay. Back to Paul and Dave.
Games here in the Dome. The only points for Seattle have been scored by their defense. Kittner's Chester in the first. Ricky Watters, a marked man this afternoon. Ricky Watters, 10 carries, 12 yards.
Detroit, sometimes you twist and stunt a little bit to stop the run. Watch what goes on here. Porsche gets the inside penetration. Jones is the penetrator. Porsche is the looper. A little crisscross up front with the down lineman. That's effective in the running game as well as rushing the passer.
Second down, a loss of 1. They bring the blitz. Kittner gets it away. Now it's Reggie Brown who cartwheels for a first down. Ron Rice hit him end over end, but Brown held onto the football.
Well, you talk about selling out. Just letting your body go. Reckless abandon here for the good of the football team. Plants both feet. Man, he was up there. That's a serious high jump and full equipment. Woo! Unbelievable. It's like, where did he go? I'm there to make the play. Where'd that masked man go? It's like Superman. He went airborne.
He's 244 pounds to get airborne like that. A timeout taken now by Seattle. Their first of the second half. A pause in the action. Detroit still with a big lead. First down for Seattle, coming off their own timeout. And incomplete the pass. Intended for Dawkins, but flags are thrown. Terry Fair with position on the corner.
Position, but he wouldn't let Dawkins make a play on the football. Terry Fair blocked him out of the action without making a play on the ball. In the official's opinion, I believe it's going to be pass interference against Detroit.
Interference. Defense number 23. First down.
Terry Fair won't agree. Either will the Detroit bench.
Let's see if Terry Fair gets his head turned around to find the football. He does. He turns his head, and he's got his left arm kind of impeding the progress. But boy, I think that's a ticky-tack call right there. I can see why the Detroit Lion bench was upset.
That's a new rule this season in the National Football League, and called according to textbook fashion there.
Yep, he didn't. I can see it if he impedes his progress, but boy, that one was weak.
Well, the ball's marked at the 26-yard line for Kittner, looking for his first points of the season. He's got him. Sean Dawkins from John Kittner. Holmgren's offense gets on track late in the third quarter.
I think that's a smart call. Go right back after Fair. He's a little bit upset about the interference call. Go right back at him.
Todd Peterson. Sean Dawkins, first touchdown reception in a new uniform. That of the Seattle Seahawks here in the Kingdom.
Sean Dawkins, here's Terry Fair. Terry Fair is playing inside technique. He doesn't have any safety help to the inside. Dawkins gets the outside release. The ball is thrown perfectly by Kittner. Outside. The only guy that can make a play on the football is Dawkins. No chance for Fair.
Brock Olivo inside his 10. Now does momentum begin to swing toward the Seattle Seahawks. And John Kittner, who has thrown his first touchdown pass of the year, and this his very first opening day start.
Another injury at the 25-yard line for the Seattle Seahawks. The medical staff already out all around him. Boy, is that Dustin Johnson that's down? Flat on his back. Oh, brother. Deja vu all over again here. What is going on?
It's been a punishing game today, very physical. And this game has not spared stars or special teams players.
Ooh.
In this case, Dustin Johnson.
And we talk about violent collisions. Normally, the most violent of collisions take place in the kicking game. 90,000 miles an hour going at each other from a long distance, and the impact is severe.
Dustin Johnson out of Brigham Young. In his first season. Another look, if you can. 41 atop your screen would be Dustin.
Yes, and Dustin he's a wedge buster. He's attacking that wedge, and he got thumped. And don't know if the injury was due to the collision impact or when he hit the turf. I mean, he hit the Pringley hit him hard, and then he hit the turf hard as well. A double shot sustained by Johnson. I mean, he's matched up Pringley on the wedge, just to give you an idea. 6'4", 280 pounds in that range. Johnson coming down full bore, 100,000 miles an hour, 6'2", 236 pounds. That impact is strong, to say the least.
As is for Dustin Johnson, his very first game for Seattle. He was with the Jets briefly last year, but this is his regular season Kingdom debut.
Well, this is a tough game played by tough people, but this is getting tougher and tougher to watch. Man. Once again, Johnson gets hit at the wedge and steamrolled a little bit. There he is right back here, Pringley. Once again, Johnson, Pringley right here. There's the contact. He's down immediately, but Johnson's up and getting it, working his way to the sideline under his own power. So hopefully just stunned momentarily.
And if you were with us earlier at the end of the first half when Chad Brown was assisted from the field, the reports came back to us at halftime that he did have movement and was in some pain and was undergoing precautionary x-rays. That is the latest that we have on Chad Brown. First down now. The noise level up. Batch unloads to Schlesinger. Loses the ball. But Detroit is able to pounce on the football. Jeff Hardings there, one of the few regular starters up front of this offensive line, was able to pounce on the ball.
A little play action fake, and Batch steps up in the pocket, little slide step, delivers the ball over the middle. Schlesinger not a good enough ball security. And the second hit by Sinclair knocked the football out. You saw the beanbag come flying out there to mark the spot. Hardings fell in it.
Hardings and Ray Roberts among the regular starters when this day began up front. Greg Hill out across the 30. That will leave him about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Jay Bellamy on the stop this time. A big play in the offing now for Seattle, trying to mount a comeback.
Detroit's running the ball very well with what we've talked about, a makeshift offensive line. Tony Semple doing a fine job at left guard against Cortez Kennedy this afternoon.
Needing a yard. To throw, tip, incomplete. Sean Springs defensively for the Seahawks.
It looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Sean Springs might have had contact with Crowell before the arrival of football, but once the ball is tipped, it's all fair game. There's no pass interference anymore. Batch rolls to his right a little bit, and the ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage. And then as a result, interference is by the boards, but Darren Smith tipped the ball, and then it was open season.
Jet. Rodgers will have a return. Not much of one, however, the 31. The kick coverage units for Bobby Ross today, and the punting there of Jet, that was 42 yards. Rodgers sure-handed this time. Kick coverage has been outstanding for Detroit.
It really has been, Paul. I think Detroit has won the battle of hidden yards, and Rodgers really helped Detroit immeasurably by a poor decision he made by not even fair catching the ball inside the 10-yard line. He tried to catch and return it, fumbled it, and Detroit had a short field to negotiate, to say the very least, at the 7-yard line.
John Kettner has just thrown a 26-yard touchdown pass as Seattle begins to come back. Waters for 3.
Okay.
You're 4 days away from the 1-hour event that'll change network television forever. Jay Moore stars in the best series of the season. Action for mature audiences at 9/8 Central after an all-new shocking crashes and chases on Fox. This score for the most part today has been pretty shocking. Not what we expected to see. Detroit 1 point led 25-7. That was at halftime. Kitna swings it out to Waters. Shy of the first at the 36. Terry Fair in the open field on the stop.
House Ballard played many years for the Buffalo Bills. There's Big House. He's a cul-de-sac. He's bigger than a house. That's a big man. But he had to retire from the game of football. Had chronic arthritis in his knees. He's the assistant offensive line coach now. He would have been manning that right tackle position. Todd Weiner started the game. Suffered a little bit of an injury in the first quarter. Grant Williams at right tackle now. If House were available, it'd be cozy over there at right tackle.
They need 5. Here comes the blitz. Kettner. His arm appeared to be in motion. It was. That's an incomplete pass.
Stephen
we
Boyd.
have a moment, if you would. The latest update on Chad Brown. Good news. All neurological system symptoms now, we are told, all neurological symptoms are very positive from the physicians here in Seattle.
That's great news. That's the best news of the day right there, period.
Fiegels for the 5th time. High snap. And he hammers this. Terry Fair works his way up the sideline, out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Christian Fourier right in on the special teams stop.
Terry Fair returning kicks last year, led the National Football League, had a 105-yard kickoff return. Longest return in the NFL since 1979. Not returning kickoffs, but he's still a serious weapon returning punts. He can change field position in a heartbeat for you.
He got about a dozen that time, Dave. Final play of the 3rd quarter. Detroit will head to the 4th quarter. A 2-touchdown lead. And a gaping hole for the man who follows Barry Sanders. Ron Rivers and the Lions have been very impressive. That's the end of the 3rd. Your score. 27-25-14. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Opening day of the NFL on Fox in the 4th quarter. Eric Beverly at center, his first career start. They have done a number up front. I think this line and all of these reserve players, case in point Eric Beverly taking over for Mike Compton. A lot of pride in this, the 70th season of Lions football. Gibson with shoulder surgery. Compton and the right tackle Ramirez out. And the offensive line has helped Detroit rush for close to 130 yards in this game.
Yeah, they've outrushed the Seahawks by a football field. They have 125 yards rushing now on the ground. The Seahawks only 23. And a lot of those yards right between Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy. A real surprise.
The pitch cutting back Rivers. But into the arms of Anthony Smith, who reacted pretty quickly. Anthony Simmons on the stop.
You have a deal where a defensive end, Sinclair, watch him down here. He's got the contain on the outside. He's going to hustle and turn it back inside to his teammates. He can't reroute himself as quickly as Rivers does, but turns it back inside to Simmons, where he's pursuing inside out and makes the hit.
Off the field now. Nickel package in. They need 3. incomplete, intended for Crowell. Williams defensively, and Detroit will punt.
That was the biggest third down play of the day for the Seattle Seahawks at this point. If the Detroit Lions had completed that pass and had moved the chains, now they're starting to get into field goal range. But right now, the Detroit Lions jet will try to pin the Seahawks back inside their own 20, maybe inside their own 10-yard line again. Let's see how Charlie Rogers handles this one.
Kerry Joseph.
Yeah, he's back there instead.
Low snap. Fair catch called for at the 16-yard line. 13:32 to go in the football game. Detroit in Seattle.
Series begins 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line.
Inside the dome. Kitna and Seattle in business. John Flush, and he threw it away. For 50 years, the stars have gathered on television's biggest night. This year, the Emmys come to Fox. Be there as television honors its finest. The Emmy Awards pre-show coverage begins tonight live. Next at 7 o'clock Eastern on Fox, except on the West Coast.
You might have wondered on that last play who was Kitna throwing the ball to. There were just offensive linemen there. Well, he was outside the tackle box, so once you get outside the tackle box, you can throw the football away.
Mike Holmgren needs an Emmy Award-winning fourth-quarter performance.
I hear that, Coach.
Under heat, tipped, knocked down, incomplete. Porcher was coming off the corner this time. Bailey,
yeah,
the corner.
Bailey
it down.
Bailey came on the blitz off the short corner, and he got his hands up. He's out of screen right now. Out of screen right now. He'll be coming up to the left of the screen. You'll see Bailey appear, gets airborne, knocks the ball, deflects it, reroutes it.
Bailey settles in. 5 defensive backs. Waters behind Kitna. Third down, taken down. Another sack, the 6th. This is Robert Porcher. The 6th sack by the Lion defense of John Kitna.
They were fearful of Robert Porcher right here at the defensive end position. And right there, he gets his hands. Tremendous work with his hands. Breaks the tackle down. No shot for Williams. Gets his shoulder pads turned to the line of scrimmage, and Porcher is off to the races. 3 straight years, double-digit sacks for Porcher. He's getting a great start this year as well.
Jeff Fagels to Terry Fair. From the 38. He's not going anywhere. Dropped immediately. Special teams by Chris Canty. A pause in the action in the 4th. Detroit now wants to eat some clock. Charlie Batch with 3 first-half touchdown passes for Detroit, and in the second half, the Lion defense has played very well. Coming off their 6th sack of John Kitna, and Batch is back in business. Schlesinger. As the Seahawks claw for the football inside.
While we're away, John Kitna had a little bit of a dialogue going with Mike Holmgren. And here's what it looked like. Mike Holmgren obviously a little bit upset with the fact that his offense only has 133 yards offense with 13 minutes to play in the game, and John Kitna getting an earful a little bit. Don't hold on to the ball so long. Find some place to throw the football and get rid of it. But right now, Paul, I don't care what level of football you're talking about, Schlesinger's getting some attention paid to him. Pee-wee, high school, college, and the NFL, you win or lose games at the line of scrimmage, and quite honestly, Detroit is beating Seattle on both sides of the football at the line of scrimmage. And I think that's the difference in the football game at this point in time. Looks like maybe a cramp, the way they're pulling the toes up. Schlesinger may be cramping up a little bit. Usually when you have a cramp in the calf, you pull those toes towards your head like they're doing to try to alleviate a little cramping problem.
Schlesinger has enjoyed a career game today running the ball. He has carried 10 times for 50 yards. If Detroit goes on to win, he would be one of the more significant stories here this afternoon. John Kitna alone to his thoughts. Now Tom Levac, the offensive line coach, very wise sage of this game, moves close to him. frustrating afternoon for Kitna and the Seahawks. Catch. The first catch of the second half by Jermaine Crowell. After 2 touchdown receptions in the first half.
Look at the cushion. Boy, you talk about respect. Crowell. Williams doesn't want to get beaten deep. It's very easy to run Williams off the football like Crowell did. Take him down the football field, get an in and out of that, cut to the sideline, and the ball's delivered accurately. Nice protection up front by his offensive line. Ray Roberts struggling a little bit, cramping at the left tackle position, having a hard time getting the line of scrimmage.
Only his second year. That is a new career high for him. Akinde, he made the catch. Touchdown. Crowell. Woo. There is a penalty marker, though, along the line of scrimmage.
Coming back.
Holding against the Lions, the preliminary indication.
Boy, Ray Roberts was struggling at left tackle. I don't know if it was him that held, but he had like erector set legs because of cramps. He couldn't even really bend his knees, and he's still trying to work a cramp out. I wonder if he was the one that held. Boy, is that a huge play. Nullifying an unbelievable effort by Crowell.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
That erases a 50-yard touchdown reception.
Here's Beverly right in the middle at the center position. Let's see. He works to Sam Adams' side. Sam Adams gets the rip, and Beverly reaches out, and yeah, he does. He gets his right arm and hooks him. Didn't realize he didn't need to, but he did it, and it was very apparent to the umpire. You have to keep the hands within the framework of the body. You can't reach out and grab him around the waist like that.
Bobby Ross, that was the knockout blow, and Seattle still on its feet. Good news regarding Corey Schlesinger. He was suffering from cramps, expected to return. Rocco Levo in the backfield now for him. Batch throws downfield and throws it away.
Cortez Kennedy bearing down on him. It must have looked like half of Seattle was in his way. Jeez, you talk about a guy that eclipsed the sun. Look at Tez, and he carries a lot of his body weight from here down. I mean, it's like a mobile fire hydrant.
He's lost about 25, 30 pounds too from a season ago.
But look at this, the way his body type is from his knees here. He carries 300 pounds with a very, very low center of gravity. And once he gets you going backwards, boy, it's hard to stop.
Second down. Catch underneath. Rivers tripped up Willie Williams, a sure tackle. He has the interception, return for a touchdown today, does Willie Williams. Those were the first points of the season for the Seahawks.
Willie was saved by a holding penalty. Willie was the one that was beaten by Jermaine Crowell a couple of plays ago. I wouldn't talk too much. They may come right back after you again. But when you're a cornerback, the biggest attribute to have is selective amnesia. Willie Williams has already forgot about that touchdown that wasn't.
And Ron Rivers, who has played very well. They bring the secondary. And all Batch can do is unload the football.
You're right, Paul. Kerry Joseph came off the slot. He was the one that pressured Batch initially.
What a great turn of events for Seattle here.
Kerry Joseph out of screen right now. You'll see him appear right there. It's picked up, but Kerry Joseph makes Batch slide step up into the pocket. Sinclair finishes the pressure.
John Jett. To Charlie Rogers. Fair catch called for and made. There was contact. No flag. Brock Olivo. It is noisy in the dome. Still plenty of time for the Seahawks. Detroit now trying to hold on with 10:44 to go. And Seattle desperate for points as they begin The 21. Larry Peccatella, the defensive coordinator. His defense has swarmed today over the Seahawks.
75% of the snaps, 3 out of 4, 4 yards or less. That'll get you in a lot of third and long situations. Peck has done a good job of mixing pressure and coverage packages.
Kitna up top, nearly intercepted through the hands of Sean Dawkins, and Terry Fair had a shot at it. And now, as you see, a late flag in.
Got a personal foul. Let's see who it goes against. Hit after the play. Let's see who the call's on. Personal foul.
The field judge making that call, Scott Steenson.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 42.
Whoa.
15 yards, previous spot. First down.
That's a composure deal right there, and Ryan Stewart lost his. No reason to do that. Bobby Ross saying, what'd you do that for? What happened? The ball goes through, right, a little bit behind the receiver, through his hands. Fair can't make a play on the football. And after the play, well after the hit, Dawkins takes the hit late by Stewart. No reason to do it. He knew the ball wasn't catchable at that point.
The 10th penalty against Ross and his Lions. Marks it outside the 35. Intended for Sean Dawkins. Fair again was there.
John Kitna's in a tough spot right now when you're down by this many points. With this little bit of time left in the football game, you're down 2 scores, 2 touchdowns, and you really don't have much margin for error. Mike Holmgren knows that, and John Kitna, now he's the man. It's not a situation where he comes in and plays quarterback with nothing to lose. He's got plenty to lose today, that being the opener of the 1999 season.
Derek Mays in motion. They set up the screen. Reggie Brown close to the first down. Stephen Boyd, the linebacker, on the stop.
Good call, because the Detroit Lions, we talked about, down by 2 scores. The Lions are pinning their ears back and trying to meet at the quarterback. One way to minimize extreme pressure, look at the Lions coming, is to run a screen pass behind them. They do a nice job at getting blocks out in front and move the chains, a fresh set of downs.
Having to throw underneath, although it was effective there for the first down, to the running back and Reggie Brown. He has had to catch the ball more, with Galloway and Pritchard unavailable today. Dawkins comes back to it and makes the catch for a first down in front of Terry Fair. His 3rd team in as many seasons, arriving from New Orleans. Mays from Green Bay. Earlier today, Charles Jordan, by way of Miami, was injured.
Mays and Dawkins, great hands, great possession receivers, but not guys that'll stretch the field for you. So they're not home run hitters, but Dawkins makes a great play, great body control, gets a tap, and sustains control of the football.
They gain 12 more. Kitna has him moving. Waters. A flag in behind the play, and a flag, too, at the point of the tackle.
Well, I think they were holding Porsche. That's the first flag. Looked like Mealy was holding him. And Habib then tried to help out. But Porsche was held at the edge. I don't know what the second flag's all about. There's 2 different hankies out there. Serious meeting of the minds there.
Nick Hantak again in his 22nd NFL season. One of the league's finest.
Holding. Offense, number 68. Holding. Offense, number 86. 5-yard face mask. Defense, number 53. The penalties are offset. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Wow. Andre Collins at the point of the tackle got his hand on Ricky Waters' face mask, and that erases a Brian Habib hold, and the holding called 2 by Christian Fourier, the Seattle tight end.
It's amazing, all that action in the NFL record book. It doesn't even go as a play. It's like when you were playing touch football as a kid in your backyard. A couple of guys do, you know, it's a do-over. It's a do-over right here. It's a do in the National Football League.
Opening day, Kitna, Mike Holmgren's debut, a lot on the line in the sold-out Kingdom. And Detroit trying to post one of its most memorable wins in years. Dawkins, a yard shy of the first down. Bryant Westbrook, one-handed haul, his left hand in a cast, able to make the tackle.
Boy, he's the claw. Look at the claw right there. Let's take a look at Herman Moore on the sideline, in street clothes. Look at that left knee. He's in a little bit of a brace right there. Crutches. That's a bad sign. Boy, would the Detroit Lions to love to have him the way Crowell's playing today. Compliment him with Herman Moore. Are you serious?
Waters to the edge. First down. 23-yard line for Ricky Waters. And the drive continues.
Well, the key to success right here, watch Fourier block down the tight end on the edge. The down block that he has, he collapses it. Now Habib's able to get out and pull, get in front. Ricky Waters takes advantage of the whole thing. Starts with the tight end blocking down. The guard's able to come out, no traffic, out in the open spaces and throw a block.
Still with only 22 yards on the ground today for Waters. Kitna. Incomplete. Over the middle. Fourier is tied in between the hashes. We expected to see him be a major part of Mike Holmgren's game plan, but that did not materialize.
You're right, Paul. Both the tight ends, Fourier, and they need the tight end to be a factor because of the injury and holdout at the wide receiver position. You know, you got Pritchett out with injury. They lose Jordan today due to injury. Galloway's holding out. It's a depleted core. Tight ends have to pick it up. Fourier, we saw him down block effectively, but he's a hybrid. You have to block like a tackle and run like a receiver, and he wasn't able to make the play in the passing game.
Still without a reception. Kitna. Complete to Derek May.
He had possession. They're ruling him out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Bobbled it after he got both feet down, had possession, then lost it out of bounds late.
21 yards to Derek May.
Another guy that Mike Holmgren is very, very familiar with. Performed well for him with the Green Bay Packers. Let's see. Do we have a catch? Catch the football, both feet down. 1, 2. Now the ball is knocked out late. That's definitely a catch. Great call by the officials. First and goal for Seattle.
Trailing 25-14. The fade route. Touchdown. Kitna to Dawkins.
Got to go for 2 right here. Might as well go for 2. Line up and go for it. It doesn't do any good to kick an extra point and be down by 4. Go for 2 and get within a field goal. Excellent execution by receiver and quarterback on that fade.
2 second-half touchdown passes from John Kitna to Sean Dawkins. And now the very important 2-point try.
Look at that. Less than 4 out of 10 attempts are successful on the 2-point conversion opportunity.
3 receivers in the set. The throw again, batted away Westbrook, intended for Mays. Bryant Westbrook breaks it up, and the 2-point conversion fails. Kitna and his coach Mike Holmgren still need a touchdown. The fates of 2 men on opening day with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this football game.
Oh, Paul, I'll tell you, both coaches, Mike Holmgren and Bobby Ross, on opening day you find out not only who can play, you find out who can't play. And with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this game, it's a 1-score football game. Who's going to step up and make the plays, and who's going to want to say, I hope it doesn't come in my area? I think John Kitna, based on the last drive, is going to try to step up.
Brock Olivo on the return for the Lions. Out to the 25. Just the touchdown pass to Dawkins.
Now the fade route. You have to put the ball up high into the outside. The only guy that can have a possible shot at the ball is the receiver. Terry Fair doesn't get airborne. Touchdown because Dawkins did.
In his first opening day start, Dawkins in his debut from New Orleans. Charlie Batch with 3 touchdown passes of his own. Rivers on first down. For 3, maybe 4, James Willis. Now the outside linebacker on the stop as the defense wants to get the football back, obviously, for Kitten in the offense.
Right, and 2 ways to do it, Paul. Either take the football away, put your helmet on the football and knock it loose, or a 3-and-out. The Seattle Seahawks have only had 2 3-and-outs all day. It's time for another one in their minds.
Corey Schlesinger returns in the backfield. Play action to him. Batch. Crowell. A first down to the 44-yard line. The ability to improvise, to shake pressure, and to find Crowell for a gain of 15 by Charlie Batch.
Well, Charlie Batch did a great job. They got him out of pocket intentionally to change the launch point to get away from the pass rush. Sinclair does a good job of not getting faked out, stays on his feet. But I talked about who's going to step up and make plays. Crowell. All game long, they found themselves something special in Jermaine Crowell.
Rivers. A first down across midfield. Running behind the lead block of Corey Schlesinger. And Rivers for a dozen.
And Schlesinger's like a 6th offensive lineman. And the 5 offensive linemen for Detroit up front have been playing so well. Where do they run the football? Right between the tackles. It's a draw play, a lead draw. Schlesinger knocks the linebacker backwards. Great hit, and the contact stuns Willis backwards.
Rivers again. Close to the first down at the 34-yard line. It's been a career day, one to remember for Ron Rivers.
And all he was looking for was his opportunity. He says, hey, I'm a good running back. I'm not Barry Sanders. I'm not saying I am. Very few people are. In fact, there's only one Barry Sanders. But Ron Rivers, I can play. Averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Look at these numbers. 80 yards to the ground and only 12 carries. Pretty darn strong.
Looking to bounce outside. Nowhere to go. Darrell Williams was there.
Boy, nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide there. That was pretty good team defense. Everybody hit a gap. The gap control responsibility was executed well by Seattle. John Lynn right here saying, boy, my defense. He's the defensive coordinator. Fritz Shermer's untimely death obviously was a factor. This man has taken over as the defensive coordinator, and he's urging, imploring his defense to rise up to the occasion on this particular drive.
Schlesinger with the block to the 28-yard line.
Got a flag, Paul. Got a flag. Let's see if it's a hold inside.
And it's against Detroit, says Dick Henton.
And Bobby Ross can't believe it. He's saying, come on, keep those flags in your pocket. Let them play.
Holding. Offense. Number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Jeff Harding's the right guard.
Jeff Harding's out of Penn State. Here he is at the right guard position. Let's take a look at what he does. He pulls. He gets out in front. He's working against the linebacker. With the left arm he does, he wraps his arms around the linebacker, puts a bear hug on him. Right in view of the umpire. You can't do it.
Second down and 21 to go. Bad sack.
Sinclair and Tez combine on that one. Sinclair off the edge and Tez up the middle. They meet at the quarterback. Boy, when a big play needs to occur, Sinclair stepped up and he got around the edge in a heartbeat. Here's Sinclair, here's Tez. Let's take a look at these two. Sinclair beats Roque. Roque gets his shoulder pads looking at the line of scrimmage. And Tez helps out. Boy, that's a massive humanity on you right there.
The 5th sack of this football game. This one credited to Michael Sinclair. His defense has shut out Detroit in the second half. Rivers to get what he can. Wow. Very close to the first down. At the 31-yard line. Well, they need about 5.
Well, that was
so here will come the field goal unit.
Paul, now they're in Hanson's field goal range. They weren't sniffing it before. They would have had to punt the football. But this effort by Rivers, watch him decide to go north and south, and when he does, he's like a human bowling ball. The Seattle Seahawks look like pins screwed in his wake.
Earlier today to open this game, Jason Hanson nailed a 51-yard field goal.
And nailed it easily. He cleared it by a good margin, Paul. This one's 45. This attempt will be from 53. No, what will it be from? It'll be from 48 yards, it looks like.
And a timeout on the field. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Well, for Bobby Ross, who won 1 game last season, Detroit was 1-7 away from Pontiac, trying to grab what would be a huge road win to open his 3rd season as the head coach of the Lions. And Jason Hanson can have a rather large say in the matter.
No question about it. And think about the missed field goal opportunity that Seattle had in the first quarter. A chip shot that was pulled left by Peterson. If that kick was good, it's a 25-23 football game right now, and Seattle would not have had to go for 2 on the last possession.
49 this time.
Oh, it's good.
He has nailed it a second time.
Wow.
The first from 51. The first points of the second half for Detroit, a bookend field goal of 49. 28-20.
And once again, check out the elevation. This isn't going to be blocked. That thing is about 12 feet high before you can blink your eye. And plenty of distance. Did it graze that right upright? If it grazed it, let's see if it redirects. Yeah, it does. It does. You can see the spin of the ball alter. He hit the right upright and glanced it inside. Living right. As he gets that ball airborne, look at the height that he gets. A glancing blow to the left upright, or to the right upright. Reroutes it left through the uprights. Tremendous follow through. Look at the leg swing. Williams initially saying, no, it's wide right, but it hit that right upright and skinned through.
Mike Holmgren watching it with every turn.
Yeah.
Now down 8.
Mike Holmgren saying, I've seen that before. He's done it to me before when I was at Green Bay.
He'll need a touchdown and the 2-point conversion to send this into overtime. That drive consumed better than 5 minutes off the clock for Bobby Ross and gets him points.
And think about the mistakes, Paul. Peterson's missed field goal from inside 40 yards. If he hits that field goal, Seattle doesn't have to go for 2 after the last touchdown. And it's a different football game. The other special teams mistake, going to return a punt inside the 10-yard line. Detroit recovers a fumble, has a 7-yard field for a touchdown. Those are killing you right now.
Hanson to Amon Green. Out to the 25-yard line with 2:01 to play. And here will come John Kitna.
Nice numbers, 19 to 27, 193 yards, couple of touchdowns, but the problem is sacked 6 times. Some on the offensive line, some on the quarterback, holding the ball too long. Some on the receivers not getting a route run properly and getting separation to throw the football so the quarterback hangs on to it. You have to throw it away in those instances. Everybody's responsible in some way, shape, or form.
Calls the play at the line of scrimmage. Throws quickly. Fabian Bowens out of bounds. The 2-minute warning. Detroit 28-20, looking to spoil Mike's debut in the Dome. 1:57 remaining in this football game. Seattle trailing by 8. Kitna throws, broken up, incomplete. Mark Carrier.
Nice play.
Stepped in front of Derek Mays, the 10-year veteran out of Southern California. They clutch play. The pass was right on target to Derek Mays.
Very intelligent football player. Been around the league a decade. The only guy in the 90s to have a 10-interception season. And he timed that perfectly. Contact with Mays and making a play on the football. Very, very well.
3-time Pro Bowler. Shows his medal. Waters will lose yardage. Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker.
What a time to blitz the middle linebacker. That's a roll of the dice by Larry Peccatello. The middle linebacker, Boyd, watch what he does. He blitzes at a perfect time. He's got Waters in coverage. He sees Waters is going to be the ball carrier. He says, the heck with staying here and worrying about coverage. I'm coming after you, baby. So he had a delayed blitz, and it turned into a tackle for loss. Great call.
And a timeout taken now by Seattle. That will leave the Seahawks with 1 timeout after the outstanding play by Stephen Boyd to drop Ricky Waters in his own backfield.
That's the second time this game. The first play of the game, Aldridge did the same thing on the flea flicker. Larry Peccatello, it seems like he's been in Seattle's huddle. Larry Peccatello is making great calls at opportune times. He's on a real nice roll, calling signals for the defense.
4th down. Kitna throws, broken up, incomplete. It will go over to Detroit on downs. Robert Bailey on the play.
Huge play by Bailey. Mike Holmgren, you can't believe his eyes. But it came down to a lot more than that play. A lot of things had gone wrong for the Seattle Seahawks prior to that, and a lot of things had gone right for the Detroit Lions as well. Detroit has outplayed Seattle today. They've outrushed them by 121 yards. Kitna didn't lead him quite enough. Bailey's in decent position, but Kitna threw the ball right at the receiver, Derek Mays. Get it out in front of him. Bailey might not make a play on it. Throws it behind him slightly. Bailey can reach in and make the play.
The 9-year veteran out of Miami. Veteran plays down the stretch. Rivers. On a day in which he follows Barry Sanders and makes a name for himself. Jermaine Crowell, with Herman Moore injured and unavailable, catches 2 first-half touchdowns. Charlie Batch throws 3. Seattle surges in the second half, and now Mike Holmgren has just burned his 3rd and final timeout.
And there's nothing more satisfying to an offensive line than to allow your quarterback to take the genuflect formation, take that knee, and end a football game. That's a tremendous feeling for an offensive line that was much maligned coming in.
This will be for Bobby Ross, I promise you, perhaps shy of going to the Super Bowl, his most memorable win in the National Football League.
Well, yeah, he's been involved in some big games. National championship win, Georgia Tech was big, but this one's up there.
For a lot of reasons. Rivers. Wow. Ron Rivers is on the verge of a 100-yard rushing performance, and all Mike can do is shake his head in disbelief.
He can't understand why Seattle can't tackle Rivers. You know, forget Barry Sanders. Rivers is doing the job on the ground. And how about the screen pass? I mean, the screen pass that Rivers had right toward the end of the football game that put Hansen in field goal range. If Rivers doesn't generate all those yards off that screen pass, they're punting the football with Seattle only down 5. A different game.
Seattle cannot stop the clock. And Charlie Batch will doubt it. When this day began, it was to be the Mike Holmgren story, his debut in Seattle. But Charlie Batch and Detroit, without Barry Sanders and without the services of Herman Moore, have come to the Dome. And the team that won 1 road game all last year is going to win on opening day.
And how about this victory for Bobby Ross? Like we said, without Barry Sanders, decided to retire from the game of football. He loses Herman Moore in the first quarter of this football game. Man, but Crowell steps up. Jermaine Crowell became the answer.
And the celebration begins for the Detroit Lions. Mike Holmgren's debut in the great Northwest is spoiled by an old nemesis in Bobby Ross. Congratulations received from a longtime Lion in Kevin Glover.
And he played for Bobby Ross at Maryland. Kevin Glover played for Bobby Ross collegiately. There's a long association there. Mike Holmgren's got a lot to think about as he works his way into the Seattle Seahawks locker room. And Ron Rivers, what about the day this guy had? On the ground and in the air. Juan Roque hugging Kevin Glover. Rivers hugging Kevin Glover. Kevin Glover's a guy that's got everybody's respect.
That's the story here, a surprise. Now let's take you to Tampa. And Sam Rowe